welcome. This is Game 2, Session 2, 6th round. I made a couple of minor changes that I thought might improve the viewing experience. So previously, if you'll remember, I was using a 12-sided dice to keep track of persuasion, and I was watching Game 2, Session 1, and just thinking and musing about all the different ways that I could make a better presentation, because I didn't love the dice. It wasn't showing up clearly on screen, and I didn't love switching out agent phase 1, 2, 3, reveal phase, combat phase. So I was like, what can I do? What can I do? I've got to get creative here. So I came up with what I think is a nice solution. If you'll look to the persuasion tracker, I have numbers 1 through 20. I have never seen persuasion get higher than 20. I've never seen persuasion reach 20. Though I suppose it's possible, so 20, I put 20. I got to 20. I wanted a nice round number. And then if you'll look over by the Imperial Basin, by interstellar shipping, I have agent phase 1, 2, 3, reveal phase, combat phase with a tracker. Okay, there's a little skull dice that I have, and it will just make keeping track of things so much easier. So, let me just do one quick thing and we'll get right into this game. Okay, so I was really happy with myself because I was really happy with myself in the last game, or how last game went, even though I'm in last place with 3 victory points, trailing behind Earl Memnon Thorvald, who's got 6 right now. It doesn't look good for me, I'll tell you that. I have to say, I'm doing better than I think many would, so I'm pretty good. I'm happy with this. I also need to bring this back from the Imperial Basin. Yes, that's correct. Okay, and it just so happens that when we wrapped the last game, that was also the last House Hagal card. So I need to take a moment to shuffle these up real good so we can get the next round going. So only take a moment. It's also worth noting, I think, that I spoke with some people online in the Dune community on Facebook about the possibility of playing against 3 rivals as opposed to only 2. And I came up with some interesting information. One of the problems that you have when you have 1 extra rival is the House Hagal cards run out faster. And the good cards, the ones that are super powerful, are spread out more thinly. So you may end up having too much of a watered down effect in the gameplay in terms of its difficulty if you include an extra rival. Although there has been variants that someone came up with. I read one of his variant options. My only issue with it is it looks like it's a fun idea, and I would definitely play it that way for funsies, but I could never use it in a legitimate conversation for metagame analysis. So if I was like, playing this game as religiously as I do, I couldn't depend on any outcomes from that variant of play and generate any kind of meaningful knowledge about proper metagame analysis. So like, what do you do in this situation? What do you do in that situation? Would only be good information if you're playing by the rules. But if you're playing a variant, those situations are going to be different and they aren't going to correlate. So that would be the reason why I don't do it that way on this channel. But I also learned another little cool trick. This is again a rule variant that this guy came up with, so I gotta give him props. It's a really good idea. I love the idea. Something about when you play House of Gaul by yourself, I used that chip that nuked the Imperium row. That's the only time, aside from getting cards with persuasion, you will ever see a change in the Imperium row. Otherwise, it's just going to be stagnant. But he offers a six-sided dice. You roll the six-sided dice, and between the numbers 1 and 5, whatever is rolled is the number card that gets destroyed between the rounds. So it's as if your opponents are buying the card, even though it just goes into the trash. So say you roll a 3, the Fidakan Death Commander would go away, and a new card would go in its place. That would keep the Imperium row looking fresh. Again, the issue here is it's a game variant, and I wouldn't be able to... I can't do that because, if I'm changing the rules and playing however I feel like, and, coming up with wins or losses, they aren't going to mean the same thing as, hey, I've been playing this game a lot by the rules, and I win. It's like, I win a lot, but it's like, yeah, but you're also playing a game variant. So if you win a lot in a variant, that might be because your rules are broken. So there's the issue, you see. And if you're going to be discussing strategies about this game, you need to be talking about the same game. So unless somebody from Dire Wolf comes out with a new rule and somehow formally legitimizes it, that you can roll the dice and scratch away old cards, I can't play that way and seriously discuss this game in any meaningful way. So I can't do that, although it just is a really good idea for people who are playing for funsies. But I'm playing for the sole purpose of being a part of this community and contributing in a meaningful way toward the metagame analysis of this game. I would like to know how to play it better, and I would like to be one of the best, if not the best, at this game, if that's possible. That's my goal. And I definitely know that there's some really good gamers out there, so I have my work cut out for me, but I think I have a good run I'll give them a good run for their money. So anyways, let's just keep watching and play this game together. This is only game 2. This channel only just got started, but for me, I've been playing this game a long time, so it's just another game for me. But this whole channel is really the newest part of my Dune adventure, if you will. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, this is so rad. So believe it or not, I've never seen the 1984 David Lynch Dune movie, and I was just over at my friend's house the other day, and he was like, dude, we're gonna watch a little bit right now. So it was like, our wives went into the other room to take care of the kids, put them to sleep, and he was like, while they're away, let's watch the movie. We got about a good 30-40 minutes here, so let's just get it on. So we started the movie, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with this movie. This is so rad. How have I not seen this yet? And I immediately, even though our wives came downstairs and we had a plan to watch something else, so we had to turn it off, I was like, I'm buying it right now. I'm going to eBay. I'm going to buying the Blu-ray. It's on its way to my house. So as soon as that arrives at my front door, I'm going to be calling some friends of mine to have a watch party. I'm really excited. It looks so cool. Okay, so enough gushing. I need to think about what we're going to do to start the next round. Does Earl Memnon Thorvald start the next round? Give me 1 second to find out. Okay, cue the elevator music. I apologize for that. Yeah, I had to just run in real quick to watch the final round just to see how it ended. And no, the beginning of round 6 begins with Ariana Thorvald, not Earl Memnon. And no, I was incorrect for bringing this back from the Imperial Basin. Round 5 ended with the Dreadnought in combat, and so it went to the Imperial Basin when the round ended. So Ariana Thorvald's going to start this round. That's going to have to be a lesson of mine when I start the next session, is I need to watch the final round of the previous video so I know where everything is and how to get the next round rolling in case I miss a step. I just want to make sure everything goes smoothly, you know? All right, I'm going to draw my 5 cards. The top card of my deck is Reconnaissance. I don't think I have any other Bene Gesserit cards, so other memory is not necessary to use one of its side effects. Let me just double check in my discard pile to be sure. Correct. I only have these 2 Bene Gesserit cards. I remember playing this game yesterday, so my memory is slightly foggy, but here's my hand. I've got Diplomacy, Other Memory, Bene Gesserit, Initiate, Signet Ring, and Arrakis Liaison. So let me just count up my Persuasion right now so we can see where we're at on the tracker. Let's see, I start at 2 because I have a high council. I have a total of 7 right now. And that's how that tracker is going to work. It's Agent Phase 1, and it's Ariana Thorvald's turn. So let's just flip the first House Hagal card now. She's going to Dreadnought. She has 6 spice, so she has enough to buy a tech card. And she also has 1 soldier in the tech negotiation symbol here. So she's going to get it at a discount, -1 spice. So she's going to get a Dreadnought. That's dangerous. And she's going to buy a tech card. She's not able to afford the 8 spice tech card, but she can afford this one, and it has the House of All symbol in the bottom right-hand corner there. So that's what she's going to get for. Actually, she's going to get it for free because no, the rules according to the card, not necessarily according to the space. That's what's important. She simply buys the card according to this House of All card. She doesn't get it at -1 spice like the space would indicate. So she just gets to buy one, and she gets it at half off. In this case, it's 2, so -1. Her soldier, her tech negotiator, goes back to her supply. She spends 1 spice. She buys wind traps. Whenever she wins a conflict, oh no, she also just got herself a free water. She now has 2 water, and whenever she wins conflict, she gets a water, and her signet ring generates water. She's already getting a lot of water this game. She's going to be getting victory points with water, that's for sure. That's a big deal. Okay. Training drones. Flip the tech card. Generate a troop for your garrison. That's this one right here. It's called Training Drones. What will I do? Let's look at my strategy. Let me just surmise this battlefield as it is now. Let me see what we're getting involved with. This, I gotta tell you, this is not appealing to me. Sort Through the Chaos is the name of the conflict, and first place will fetch you a Mentet, an influence card, and 2 Solari. And second place is just a intrigue card and 2 Solari. Look at this. I did not build up my garrison with 5 soldiers to waste them for such pitiful winnings. This is a disgrace. I was really hoping for something more enticing, especially since I desperately need to start winning conflicts. My strategy so far of buying Spice Must Flow cards isn't working. It's not. With only 2 agents, it's difficult to get the persuasion required. But I have luck on my side. I can do it now. I cannot go to the Mentet space and draw a card. That's out of the question. However, I can go to the research station. And what is that going to do? I'll tell you. If I use my signet ring, the Bene Gesserit Initiate, or other memory, it's going to allow me to draw a card from the card that I choose. Of those 3, I'll be able to draw a card, and with the research station, I'll draw 2 additional cards for a total of 3 cards, and that'll bump me up 1 on the research tracker, which is 1 step closer to a victory point with Spice if I can beat Memnon Thorvald. His name is Earl Memnon Thorvald. Pardon me for my ignorance. I've only read the first Dune book, not the second or third. I wonder, is his name Earl, or is his title Earl? You know? I don't know. I'm genuinely ignorant. I don't know. Countess Ariana Thorvald. I'm guessing he's an Earl. He's the house or earl, so I'm guessing that's his title, not his actual literal name. Okay, I'll look that up later. We need to get back into thinking about what I'm going to do. So, first, I'm not going to use other memory, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look at this card, it procures 2 persuasion points in the reveal phase. I need those points so I can hopefully buy a Spice Must Flow. I desperately need one. I need to start getting victory points pronto. The game is at 6th round. It's becoming late game at this point. Things need to start moving. So other memory is going to sit on the side. I'm just trying not to use it at all if it can be helped. I'm probably not going to use it at all. I'll probably use Bene Gesserit Initiate and Signet Ring. So right now, what's the difference? I'll just use the Signet Ring, and then I'll go to Research Station. That's going to cost me 2 water. Signet Ring is used. It goes to the standby cards here. And I'm going to bump my tracker up 1 here and move that tracker up 1 on the Twilaxu row, or on the Twilaxu track, I should say, sorry. Draw 3 total cards. This is good. I have enough for a Spice Must Flow in the reveal phase. So this is my new hand I'm working with. Two convincing arguments. A reconnaissance, diplomacy, Bene Gesserit Initiate, Arrakis Liaison, Other Memory, Dagger, and the Spice Must Flow. So at the end of this round, and I may have forgotten to do it the other time I drew the Spice Must Flow, but I'm supposed to get 1 spice from it, and you know what? I have to eat that as a penalty of my forgetfulness. I cannot forget to generate the resources when the game is telling me to generate resources. If I forgot, it's just too late now. I can't go back. I can't turn back the clock and be like, oh, 3 turns ago, I forgot to do this thing. I'm going to do it now. No, that's not how I'm going to play this game. If I forgot, I forgot. It's going to be painful, but that's how we learn from our mistakes, right? I think I forgot to generate a spice with the previous draw of the Spice Must Flow. That would have given me 5 spices as opposed to the 4 that I have now. And yeah, that's a painful lesson to learn. It sucks. I really wish I had 5 spice. But I don't, because I forgot, and that's my mistake. I have to learn from my mistake, so it is what it is. Okay, so I actually am in combat. I'm in a combat zone, so I can push in a troop and possibly win stuff, but what would I win? There's, like, possibly 2nd place and get myself an intrigue card, so maybe... No, you see, the trouble is this. When, and invariably it's going to happen, I'm sure of it, there's going to be a point where I need to generate $7 in Solari so I can get to the end of the research track and push forward the Twilaxu track 2 additional spaces, getting that victory point in the 2 spice up there, getting 1 space removed from the intrigue card slot here. I'd like to try to get to the very end if it's possible, but the only way that's going to happen is if I can somehow get enough researchers in this area to trade them out for a Twi'leksu tracker. Then I can get that last victory point. That's going to be difficult to do. At present time, I don't have any cards except for that one research card, because maybe foolishly I trashed my other experimental card. I can't put them in the research zone anymore. Cards like this will allow you to do that. But I don't have that card or any card like it except for experimentation. So the only other option is if I get lucky with the intrigue deck. That's a far-fetched hope, because let's just think about the statistical odds here. In game 1, when I was playing easy mode, I drew a Twi'leksu tracker card from the intrigue deck. Because I'm playing game 2 and I started with a fresh game board, I shuffled everything. That deck. I shuffled the Imperium Row stack, I shuffled Twi'leksu Row, I shuffled the intrigue stack, I shuffled the conflict stack, I shuffled all of the Planet X trackers, the cards over here, the tech icons, the tech cards, I shuffled everything. What are the odds that in 2 games in a row I draw the Twi'leksu tracker? What are the odds of that? It's not going to look good. Those odds are very slim. So I shouldn't hope for something like that. But you never know. I don't think I'm going to waste any resources putting my troops into combat right now, because I don't want the audience to forget I have rapid mobilization. Deploy any number of your garrison troops to the conflict. As soon as the conflict shows up when there's more than possibly 1 or 2 victory points that can be gained, as opposed to the mere 1, then I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this and try to unleash hell if possible, win that conflict to get those victory points, because I need them very badly. So right now, what good would that do me? Winning this conflict, it's not worth it. Even if I got second place and I just got an intrigue card, it's not worth it. I don't think that intrigue card will be of much use to me. So the next thing I'm going to do when it's Agent Phase 2 is I already have enough for Spice Must Flow, so I don't necessarily need to focus on drawing cards anymore. I can go to Carthag, generate another troop, and get an intrigue card that way. Although, I need to get... Oh my goodness gracious. I need to either go to Secrets so I can get a victory point and get that out of the way, and start moving on the Emperor track, which I haven't done at all yet. I have 4 Spice, so I can go there, get 2 troops, intrigue card, and 5 Solari. Then I'll have 6 Solari, which is 1 Solari away from having 7 Solari, so it's looking like Conspire is the smart move. I think that's what I'm going to do. When it's Agent Phase 2, that's my thinking. Okay, so now let's go to the Earl Memnon Thorvald. Here we go. He's going to Hardy Warriors. He bumps up this tracker. No! He's at 7 victory points. This is so devastating. He's just kicking butt everywhere he goes. This guy is brutal. I am in the dust. Look at me with 3 victory points. How pitiful. It's now Agent Phase 2. How do you like that? Do you like it if I do the dice on the right-hand side down here like this, or down the middle? Also, these little skull dice, I'm probably going to trade out for acrylic little meeples. I think they would look prettier than this, in my opinion. I don't like the color, and even this dice I don't like. It's big and bold, and that's why I'm using it, and it's easy to move around. But I don't love that. I kind of would like the idea of like a different kind of a tracker. So I might change even this dice eventually. I just have to come up with something better. Anyway, Agent Phase 2, here we go. Harvesting spice. Oh no! They just got 5 more spice. That's 10 total spice. And 10 minus 7 is 4. No, pardon, 3. And the reason why that matters is because they just spent 7 spice getting a victory point. They're in a combat zone as well. Victory point goes from 4 to 5. They're in combat now, and that means their dreadnought is in combat. Oh my goodness! Memnon Thorvald is in combat too. Get in there. Let's see here. He's at 2, 4, 6. And they are at 3. Okay. I gotta use that ability track. I'm gonna use diplomacy. Here we go. Diplomacy is gonna get used. That's gonna push me from 11 to 10. I'm going to spend 4 spice. Hooray. I mean, everything you do is so anticlimactic, right? Because it's so... It feels very defeating being this far behind. I generate 2 troops, which I just added. I get myself 5 Solari and an intrigue card. Oh, and I move myself up 1 on the tracker. 1 step away from the victory point. Ambush. Wow, that could be very helpful for my combat strategy, because just imagine if they get dangerously close to beating me, and if it doesn't end up like becoming a huge issue, you know, like maybe I only need to push in half as many troops, that'll be another combat I can push in more troops. So that would be super cool. Okay, here we go. Earl Memnon Thorvald. Still suits. This dude is really chilling with the Fremen right now. Whoops. Oh my gosh, Butterfingers. That's all he's got. He's already got all his troops in there, so that didn't really do him any good. Maybe he could take the alliance token and get himself another victory point. I'm kidding. I shouldn't disrespect the AI. I might hurt their feelings. Okay. It's now Agent Phase 3. Tech negotiation has already been settled on. They're going to have to go to a different space, so draw another card. Wealth. Oh my gosh. She goes to wealth, gets another victory point. Okay, now let's go back to the Earl Memnon Thorvald. He goes to Arakim. He generates a spice for his Signet Ring ability and gets a soldier into combat. That bumps him up 2 on the tracker, the combat tracker, so he's at 8 right now. And we are going to the reveal phase. So I've got... Oh my goodness, actually I am at 11. I just realized something, everyone. I forgot that I have my mini mic film over here, which gets me 1 extra persuasion. So at the beginning of every round, I don't just count the 2 persuasion from the High Council seat, I also count this tech card. I start every round with 3 minimum persuasion. So with that, 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. I'm actually sitting with 13 persuasion right now. After counting everything up, I must have forgot to count it all up and add it all up. My apologies. So with 13 persuasion, what can I do with that? Because I'm revealing now, I'm going to take my spice must flow spice. And immediately buy myself a spice must flow. I get 1 victory point. Yeah, so what I'm thinking about, here's what I'm thinking about. I don't know how the next few turns are going to look, but I gotta say, if I go to the Imperial Basin next turn, on the next round, I could get 4 spice total, which would give me 5 total spice. Then I would only be 3 spice away from having enough spice to buy flagship from the tech negotiation space. If I can end up moving the Twi'leksu tracker 1 more space, I'd get a victory point and 2 spice from that, which would be 7 total spice. I'd have 1 away from having enough to get flagship, which is a victory point. So that's a way I could get a victory point. How hard would I have to fight to get 8 spice? That's a tricky question. I don't know. So anyways, there is no cards I want to buy right now with the remaining persuasion points I have. But if I could get long reach. So I need to go to secrets next round, or wealth to get the victory point. And then I need to be able to find a way to get the flagship somehow. And I need to win combats. Okay. If things go right, okay, let's just imagine this for a second before we get into this combat phase. If things go right, and the next conflict card reveals a 2 victory point winner for first place, I would go from 4 to 6 victory points, which would make me tied with Ariana. If I could get flagship, that would put me at 7, which would make me tied for the Earl Memnon Thorvald. And if I can get the Emperor tracker, and if I can get the Bene Gesserit tracker up 1 more space, that would be 2 additional victory points, putting me at 9 victory points, which is only 1 away from getting to 10, which is all I need. So then that would come from the Twi'leksu tracker. So also I have to generate 7, or no, I could just go down 1, and then so I have to move 2 more times to get to here. If I could just get to here somehow, then I could go 1 more forward, get that final victory point to get to 10. It's a long, dusty road. It's a hard road to travel. It's going to be difficult. I got to play with the top card of my deck revealed. The next card would have been a dagger. So whatever I could draw after this in my next hand, there will be at least 1 dagger, which is virtually useless for me. Oh my goodness gracious, maybe I might get lucky and buy another Spice Must Flow, and that could generate another victory point. And again, this is under the idea that I'd buy flagship and do all the other stuff, and everything goes right, nothing goes wrong. A lot can go wrong. So, daydreams. It's just a daydream right now. Okay, so I'm going to consider my reveal phase officially over. So I'm just resetting the persuasion tracker now back to 3. So the next round will begin at its starting point. That's 2 for High Council and the 3rd point from Mini Mike Film over here. Also, if somehow I can manage to get 3 influence or more on all 4 influence tracks with memo quarters, I can get another victory point, but that is such a far out goal. There's no way in hell that's ever going to happen. It's now the combat phase. Ariana Thorvald gets Conspire. 4 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, putting her at 7. Beg your pardon. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's at 3. It's not her turn. It's Earl Memnon Thorvald's turn. So he got Conspire. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's Ariana Thorvald's turn to draw a card. There's no way she's going to be able to catch up, but you know what? It is what it is. She got 2. So, resolve the winnings. Thorvald gets the Mentat. He gets an intrigue card. He gets 2 Solari. Ariana gets 2 Solari. And an intrigue card. She only has 1 right now, so she's 1 away from getting a victory point out of that. Good for her. Got to put the spice out now, so Imperial Basin gets 1 more spice, and the Great Flat gets a spice. Return troops to the conflict, from the conflict to the supply. Move these back to their original settings. These go here. This goes back to this garrison. This goes here. I'm going to double check something real quick in the rules, so bear with me for a moment. Won't take long. I just want to read the rules really quick for how dreadnoughts work so everyone's on the same page. A rival always prefers to deploy dreadnoughts over troops and will deploy a dreadnought to the conflict whenever it can. Whenever a rival wins a conflict and its dreadnought must take control of a board space, it always covers an opponent's control marker when possible and will avoid covering one of its own. When there are still multiple places a rival could send its dreadnought, it first prefers Imperial Basin for its valuable spice, then proceeds counterclockwise around the board to Erakeen, then Carthag as its last choice. For example, if no player controls Imperial Basin and opponent's control markers are at both Erakeen and Carthag, a rival would send its dreadnought to Erakeen. So, yes, as I understand it, if there's a flag on the board, the dreadnought just covers whatever flag is there, starting at Erakeen, then Carthag, then Imperial Basin. But it would always choose Imperial Basin first and foremost if there was a flag there. It starts there and it works around counterclockwise. But here's the question. This seems foolish of me, but I believe it only goes for 1 round, and then it goes back to the garrison. So let's just read that from the Dreadnought page in the regular base game of this expansion. It says they're durable. When combat resolves your dreadnought in the conflict, don't return to your supply. If you don't win the conflict, return them to your garrison instead. Okay, so controlling locations with a dreadnought. A dreadnought can control any of the free board spaces where a control marker can be placed, Arakeen, Karthag, or the Imperial Basin. When you win a conflict in which you had at least one dreadnought, you must choose one of those spaces where there is not already a dreadnought. Place your dreadnought on the flag below that space, covering any control marker that may already be there. If your second dreadnought was also in the conflict, return it to your garrison, so there will always be at least one if you have two in the garrison. While your dreadnought is at a location, you gain any bonus that would normally be given for a control marker. One Solari for Arakeen or Karthag, one Spice for the Imperial Basin, and one troop if a conflict card awards a defensive bonus. Your control lasts until the end of the next combat phase. At that time, your dreadnought returns to your garrison, and control of the location returns to the owner of any control marker your dreadnought may have been covering. Yeah, so that's basically saying what I already suspected and knew. I was having second guesses. It's probably because I read so much on variant games earlier today. It was sort of confusing me about the dreadnought. And I was like, have I been doing it wrong this whole time? And I was like, I'm going to have to go back and reread the rules on that because I'm pretty sure I've been doing it right. But yeah, I mean, it seemed like maybe I could have been doing it wrong. So I got confused and I wanted to confirm my suspicion. But I've been doing it right all along. So this dreadnought goes back to the garrison from the Imperial Basin. At present time, nobody controls any of these places. And if you remember in session 1 of this game, I believe it was myself and Earl Memnon Thorvald were fighting for first place at the siege of Karthag, and we tied in the conflict, so nobody won that marker. And at present time, nobody has control of a marker except for Ariana Thorvald with her dreadnought right now. And at the end of this next round, it's going to go back to her garrison. I'm going to flip the next conflict card. Here we go. Oh, man. It's not... Oh, man. See, this is... Okay. Oh, man. Okay. So if I win this conflict, I could jump 2 spaces on a track. Let's think about winning this conflict. What would that do for me? I'm going to move this to 7. We are in Agent Phase 1, and I get to start the next round. I'm going to move my whole hand into my discard pile. Draw my next hand of 5 cards. This hand is kind of lame, but good news. Bad news. No, I'm sorry, that was thinking of Futurama. Good news is that, because I have the Paul Atreides ability, I can look at the top card of my deck at any time. The top card of my deck right now is Diplomacy, which is a card I need in order to go to the Emperor track or the Bene Gesserit track, so I can get those victory points, those desperately needed victory points. My hand is kind of lame. I've got 2 daggers, which is nice. That's going to help me win the conflict, so that's not bad, and that would be good, and I'll tell you why, because if I win this conflict, I could just sort of, like for example, I need to put all the agents back. Oh my goodness. All the agents, I forgot to put them where they belong. my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where did this guy come from? Oh my goodness. I think he was an Haderach. I forgot that. No, he wins that for the next round, the Mentat. I was looking at him. He has it over there. I put it over there and I forgot. And I was like, oh my god, did I forget to have him use his Mentat? No, that was his winnings. So I'm correct right now to give him back all of his agents. Oh my gosh. These little mistakes, man. These little mistakes. You gotta do everything perfectly. I do not want to make a mistake. I want this game. I want to win fair and square, you know? So if you make a mistake, it would haunt me. Because if I win, I'll feel really good about it. But if I make a stupid mistake, I'll be like, no, the whole game would have been thrown if that happened, you know, the correct way. I wouldn't have won or something. So I just want to make sure that when I win, it's sincere. Okay, so what does this mean? What it means is I need to draw this damn card, but I have to spend a troop. I have to spend an agent to do it. I gotta go to a Haderach. Or... Oh, man. Oh, man. That is so lame. So lame. I have no good options right now. Okay, let me just do a quick count of my persuasion. I have 8 total persuasion. Okay, so... Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay, so here's what I could do. Here's what I could do. I could use negotiated withdrawal, go to Haderach, draw diplomacy, push into combat 3 total troops. And when I'm in the conflict phase, or the reveal phase, I should say, I could use this card's ability, retreat 3 of my troops, push one of these trackers up 1, and get that victory point out of the way. That seems like a good idea. I think I might do that. So I'm going to need to use my Arrakis Liaison. Now, go to Haderach. That's going to put me down 2 points on the tracker. So I'll have 6 total persuasion. I think that's what I'm going to do. But the sad part of this strategy is it's looking like I'm going to yet again miss out on the Imperial Basin. And does this also mean I'm kissing the idea of winning this conflict goodbye? Yes, potentially. Because I won't need those influence points. I won't need them. You know, it's going to get me 2 persuasion. That I won't need them. That's what it comes down to. So the only reason why I would want it is so I could generate a victory point from one of these guys, you know, and maybe I could, like, if I won first place somehow, where would I even spend them? I could just choose Bene Gesserit or Emperor, get one of those victory points out of the way, the low-hanging fruit. But honestly, strategically, I would probably take the Spacing Guild because it would generate me 3 Solari, which I need, you know, if I end up, this is yet again a lofty idea, but if I happen to get all the way to the Bene Gesserit the Bene Twi'leksu tracker all the way to the end, I would need 7 Solari to activate that ability. But of course, as I mentioned, the idea of getting that Twi'leksu track all the way to the end is a difficult goal to achieve, it's probably not going to happen. So I don't think I'm going to need 7 Solari anymore. I think I'm just going to, if I can happen to get my researcher tracker to the very end, it's probably just going to be this middle option, so I can just take that first victory point. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do, and I get to draw a card, and what do you know? It's the card we all knew it was going to be, Diplomacy. The next card I could draw is the Spice Must Flow. That's what's sitting on the top of my deck. Yay. Okay, so... You know, because that research track option of spending 7 Solari for 2 Twi'leksu tracker movements is looking more bleak and less, I guess you could say, less of a viable option. The Solari that I have right now is just sitting as dead weight. So what I might do on my next turn is go to the Mentat space. I can't take the Mentat. The Earl Memnon has it. No. Oh, that's brutal. Okay, never mind. Scratch that idea. I was thinking I might go to the Mentat space so I'd have it draw this Spice Must Flow card, which would get me a spice, an extra spice, and I would have 2 spice. And if nobody goes to the Imperial Basin next round, I could go there, and then I would have 4 or 5 total spice. 5, 6, 7, and then I'd have 1 spice away from having flagship. Oh, what a nice idea. I wish I could have that. Oh well, not an option. So we're sticking with the original plan. And now we're going to go to the Earl Memnon Thorvald. His turn. Carthag. Generates a troop into conflict. It goes into the conflict zone. He's at 5 strength. Ariana. Fold space. Now it's my turn. Diplomacy. What was I going to do with diplomacy? I could either go to Bene Gesserit's Secrets. Yeah, that's what I got to do. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to go to Wealth and take 2 Solari. What a waste. These intrigue cards are way more valuable. So I'm going to go use Diplomacy and go to Secrets. And, yeah, get an intrigue card. So, get a victory point. It is also Agent Phase 2 now. And I believe I just lost yet another persuasion. Actually, I'm sitting at exactly 6, pardon. Okay, so, nice. So, at the end of this combat, I gotta draw an intrigue card. Okay, that's not always bad. It's not always bad. It's always good to know you've got options. You know, here's what I'm thinking. Uh-oh. Somehow this moved. Thorvald was 1 away from getting the Alliance tracker. I know that. It looked, For a second, this slightly, somehow it moved a little bit down, but no, it's definitely right there. So here's my thinking. This might be silly, okay? But hear me out. Hear me out, okay? This is a little silly, but I think I got an idea. Actually, I'm really happy with this. This is looking really good. This is looking really good. I'm very happy with this. Okay. Okay. Let me explain my thought process right now. I can rapid mobilization, put all my troops into combat. I have 2 daggers in my hand. That's like having an additional troop. So think of me as having 5 troops in my garrison. I push them all in. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but it could. Earl has the Mentet, so he can go an additional space this round. But if it gets hairy, the combat, I'll be really far ahead. But don't forget, I have to withdraw 3 troops from the conflict to get that influence. So I'm sticking with that plan. But with 5 soldiers in combat and an ambush card, I think I have a good shot of winning this. And if I do, I would use the influence points from winning first place to bump the Bene Gesserit tracker up to take that victory point, get a influence card, and get another influence card from winning first place. Now, that would be a great way to generate some action, some gameplay, some make things happen. I would get a victory point that would make me tied, and I'd get this victory point that would put me tied with Earl Memnon Thorvald. So that's a good position to be in. But why would it be bad? Let me tell you, because then I wouldn't have any more troops in my garrison, but that's not all bad either. I really have to hope nobody goes to the Imperial Basin. I really have to hope nobody goes there. Because if I can manage to take the 5 spice, I would have enough to go to Highliner next round, which would generate 5 troops and 2 water. And I would be a foe to contend with for the next conflict cards first place prize. And I like that idea, but I really have to hope that the Imperial Basin stays open while there are still 5 agents. That's a tough one. Okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, and because I have this card, I can go to the Highliner no problem. So, that's why it's awesome. That's my thinking. Just so everybody knows, that's what I hope to do. Wow. Wow. It goes to the Earl Memnon Thorvald. And let me guess right now, Imperial Basin. Nope, he's taking card back. He's already there, so he can't do that. Selective breeding. Here we go. He generates 1 movement there. Agent phase 2 is still going on right now. Pardon. Oh, wow. Look at that. She just got 2 movement. They only go up to the 2nd space, and then they go all the way down. They get all of these benefits, but they always lean into the Solari as opposed to getting the spice. So she gets a free victory point right now. She's going to earn 8 total spice. And that means she actually gets 1 Solari out of the equation. She just gets a victory point for that. Boom. Spending the Solari there. She gets 1 influence on any tracker. Let me look and see where she's at. The one that she's at the lowest at is the one she's going to go for. She'll take this one, get a victory point. She's also going to get herself 2 troops in her garrison. Wow, good for her. That was a good play. And I'm in dust, but things are going to move fast soon. You'll see. Things are going to move fast. I'm going to rapid mobilization right now. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 total points. I forgot to do it when I was yapping my mouth off about my strategy. I was like, I'm going to do this, and then I forgot to do it. So, whoopsies. Okay. Yeah, so. Okay, so. Where was I? Yeah. Earl Memnon Thorvald. Oh, God, no. He's going to get 4 spice here. He has 3 spice over there. So he's getting a free victory point. I should say he's cashing in 7 total spice for a victory point right now. Oh, man, that is so painful. I should have known it was too much. I should have known. I should have known. Oh, that is such a bummer. I won't be able to go to Highliner next round. I don't know how I would be able to, at least I should say that. That's okay. I could still win this conflict. It's not all for nothing. It's Agent Phase 3 now. Oh, I forgot to put his agent. I forgot to put his agent at the Imperial Basin. She gets a spice, of course, since she's got her dreadnought there. And here we go. Ariana Thorvald can't go to Arrakeen, can go to the research station. All right. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's going to get her an intrigue card. She's 1 victory point away from winning the game. Oh, look at that. She's got illicit dealings. The card I was telling you guys about. The one I needed. The one I wanted. No. Now it's impossible for me to get it. There's no way I could possibly get it. She's at 9 victory points now. She could win. It is now the 4th agent phase, which I should put on this card because technically that's an option. I should remake this card with the correct. Yeah, I'm going to need to do that, and I will. Okay, so let me just really quick count up my. Yeah, I have 6 persuasion right now. That remains to be the case. And what card would I buy with 6 persuasion? In all seriousness, probably Worm Riders. Only because long reach wouldn't really be of any use to me, I don't think. And winning combat is so necessary in these later phases. The idea of drawing a Worm Riders is really enticing. yeah, I'm just too far away on most of these trackers to do anything of any significance. I'm only on the second bar and on the first bar out here, so like being able to move up one on the tracker and that we're so close to the end of the game, it's just not an option worth thinking about. Long reaches, a dud card, Worm Riders is all I can hope for. And let's face it, look at the size of my deck. There's no way I would ever be able to get it. So buying that card is kind of a waste, but whatever. I'll buy it anyway. You never know. It might be a forever before Ariana wins the game. Who knows? I could still win the game. Fold Space and Interstellar Shipping have already been occupied, so he's going to Selective Breeding is already occupied, going once again occupied. Carthag is occupied. Arakim occupied. He can harvest spice. Good for him. He gets 4 spice. Okay, finally, reveal. I'm at 8, but I have 2 daggers. Puts me at 10. I subtracted 3 of my troops so that I could generate 1 influence, any track that I want. And I'm going to do the Emperor track. Get a victory point. I'm in the lead to win this conflict, so I'll get 2 influence. I'll use it in the Bene Gesserit tracker, get the victory point, get 2 intrigue cards, see what those are going to reveal. I just realized that Ariana is in the conflict, so she's sitting at 4 points because she's in the research station. Should have realized that, but I just did, so good thing that we are doing that now. And in the reveal phase, like I said, I'm going to buy Worm Riders, even though it's kind of useless, but who knows? Okay, so let us, also I can put a soldier in the researcher track. Not that it's going to do a lot of good, but who knows? You never know. Okay, so Thorvald, what's it going to be? He blanks out. That's good. He was the biggest threat. And there's virtually no way that Ariana is going to catch me. She's too far behind, so I don't need to use my ambush card. So that's... She also blanks out. Wow. So I win this conflict. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. Take this, get a victory point, generate 2 intrigue cards. Let's look at those. Double cross and refocus. This is good. This will be helpful to winning a conflict. This is good. I have to hope that immediately I have to use refocus on my turn, because if somebody goes to selective breeding, they're going to randomly take one of my intrigue cards. not selective breeding, sorry, if they go to secrets, because I'm sitting with 4 intrigue cards. If somebody goes to secrets, I have to hand it over. Hand one over randomly. So that's the end of the combat phase, which we were in, and I forgot to put it there, but that's okay. And let's put spice where spice belongs. There. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit, I'm just sort of, this could be it. This is the last round. It's really got to count. It's really got to count. 2 victory points right here. I'm at 7, so it would give me to 9, and oh my goodness, did I get that victory point? I don't think I would give me to 10, so if I win this conflict, I would win. So if I win this conflict, I could win. I have a lot going for me to win this conflict too. I have a double cross, I have a refocus, I have an ambush. I could do it. It's possible I could do it. I'm looking at Ariana, and if somehow she generates a victory point and there's a tie, if there's like a tie of some kind, then she's going to win because she has more spice. So there are some obstacles to overcome. I haven't even drawn my next hand yet. I'm just sort of having a minute. Okay, let's do it. The card that's revealed on the top of my deck is Signet Rain, using my Paul Atreides special ability. As you all might remember, oh my gosh, what a total disaster. It's not so bad, actually. Okay, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Okay. Let's think about this. I have 2 Spice Must Flow cards. So this is nice. Think about it. When this round wraps, I'll have generated 2 free spice. That'll give me 3 spice. So if I go to Imperial Basin, then I'll have the same amount of spice as Ariana. But no, that would not be a good idea, because the only way it could do that in any serious, meaningful way is if I I could, oh goodness. Oh, well, if I, okay, let's think of this. Okay, let's just try to look at this. Okay, let's say well, you know, with other memory, I can draw Bene Gesserit out of my discard pile. Let me look at my discard pile. I was hoping the Bene Gesserit Initiate would be in there, but oh well. Okay, so let's... It all comes down to this, you know, this is sort of the last round, so it has to be... It really needs to matter. Also, let me just take a quick minute to observe this round, because for some reason I'm having a lingering doubt that I'm actually at 8. I feel like, did I even move it when I was supposed to? I don't know. I feel like I did, but I feel like I did everything the right way, but just observe this, because when I moved this tracker to the Bene Gesserit space, I want to make sure that that went up where it's supposed to be. Did I go from 6 to 7? Or am I doing it correctly as is showing from 7 to 8 as it's shown? So let's just take a second to examine that, the beginning of the 8th round. We haven't done anything yet. Now let's just move forward, because if I have to restart this round again with what I'm sitting with, I can still do it. It's not too late. This is likely the last round. Let's just face it. If I use other memory, I can go to Rakim, draw 2 cards. The next card I would draw is the Signet Ring. Oh, that would generate a troop. Get that into combat. I would draw a Signet Ring, and I would draw a second card. That could be something. Who knows what? But if it's like another Bene Gesserit Initiate, that could be good. So let's just add up my persuasion. Where are we at? I start with 3 because High Council and Mini Mike Film. I'm sitting right now with 8. Look at my hand, with a hand that has only 2 usable cards. Part of me thinks that I should use Reconnaissance. No, because I was thinking, like, if I drew 1 card, that would be 1 for 1. That would be okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, just imagine this. Okay. I use Reconnaissance. I go to Arakim. I generate the troop, put it into combat. I draw 1 card. I get Signet Ring. Goes to my next agent phase. I use Signet Ring, go to the Mentet, draw 2 cards. Costs me 5 Solari, but draw 2 cards. With the Persuasion being what it is, I'll probably end the reveal phase with 9 Persuasion, so I can get a Spice Must Flow. That bumps me up the tracker to 9 victory points right there. Then it just becomes a matter of what I do with the Mentet. I could, whatever cards that are available to me, I could use it to go, where would I go? I guess Siege Tabor, just to get the troop. Or, yeah, just to get the troop and cross my fingers and hope I can win combat, which would be difficult, but not impossible, I suppose. Oh boy, this is tough. This is so tough. But I like my thinking on this. I like my strategy. Um, Forget about Twi'laksu Row. That is not happening. I'm sorry, the Twi'laksu tracker. Look at how close I am to that victory point, but yet so far away. It's just not going to happen. So it's the Earl Memnon Thorvald's turn. Here we go. He goes to Carthag. He generates a troop into combat. He pushes it in. He takes. Wow. What a jerk. He's at 6 spice. That's 1 away from having enough for a victory point. He goes up the VP tracker by 1 point. And he destroys this card. Gala. Reading it is useless. It's redundant because I don't have enough researchers to buy it. I'm going to have to get used to this, and I have to add an Agent Phase 4 for the Mentat, so that would be something I do. I'll make a new one soon. Ariana, here we go. Still suits. Yeah. I use reconnaissance. Oh, no, 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 no. Before I use reconnaissance, shuffle my discard pile into my deck, then draw 1. No, I can't do that yet because I desperately need the Signet Ring. No, my strategy needs to maintain. I'll do that next round. But don't forget, I just have to hope nobody goes to secrets. Oh, you know what? It's not all bad. I can immediately use double cross and steal. Yeah, I can do that, and that's what I will do. That's what I'll do. So that way I won't have to worry about secrets being a problem anymore. So yeah, okay. Maintaining the plan. Reconnaissance. I move down 1 on this tracker from 8 to 7. And I take my agent, go to Arrakeen, generate a troop, push it into combat. I am sitting at 2, as well as the Earl Memnon Thorvald. Now, I'm going to use double cross. An opponent of your choice loses 1 troop in the conflict, and you deploy 1 troop from your supply to the conflict. So spend 1 Solari. Use that. I steal a troop from him. Goodbye, dude. He goes to 0, and I go to 4. It had to be done. I draw 1 card, Signet Ring. Reveal the next card of my deck. It's the Bene Gesserit sister. That was what I was thinking. I was like, that could be what I drew if I got 2 cards. So oh man, that's okay. Because now I know that with the Mentat, I'm going to be drawing that at least. So, all right. Because I drew 1 card, I now have 8 persuasion again. Okay, here we go. Earl Memnon Thorvald. It's his turn now. Oh, yeah. This goes back at the end of that last combat phase. Or does it? Oh, no. I don't remember. Actually, I think this is right. I think I did it right. I think I'm just going to have to trust myself that this was there and that this was here in the conflict. And once it resolved, I put that where it belonged and moved this down. I think that's how that worked. Yes, vague memories. But I think that's right. So I just have to trust myself. Again, if this goes wrong, I can redo this round. Although all the cards that I'll be drawing will have been revealed, but it would be the variant that mattered. The truth of what could have happened is what would have mattered. So all the resolutions would have been identical minus one feature. Change that. Or should I just shuffle everything and start again? I don't know, but we'll see. We'll just see. I'll trust myself. I'll play back the footage, see if I need to redo round 8, and if that's the case, that's going to be the case, and maybe I'll punish myself by shuffling all the cards. That's what I'll do, just to make it fresh. That seems right. That seems right, so that's what we'll do. Okay, so let's just move on now. Thorvald is supposed to go to the Dreadnought. Okay, so he gets a Dreadnought. And he doesn't go into combat because it's not a combat space, but he also spends his spice buying this at one discounted price. So this would go from 3 to 2. So he's using this tech negotiator to reduce the cost by 1. But he spends 2 spice and buys training drones. Doesn't do any good for him. I'm not going to read it. It's a redundant card. Doesn't mean anything to me. It's worth 4. I don't have 4. There's no point. It's not going to do any good for me. Okay, so let's see here. Thorvald just went. He got himself a Dreadnought, got himself a tech card. That is the beginning, by the way, of Agent Phase 2. So now we're Ariana. Thorvald Conspire. She's not in combat, but she's got some troops. She's gearing for combat. Now it's my turn. I'm going to go to the Mentat. Using Signet Ring, which is going to bring my persuasion down to 7. The Signet Ring ability allows me to draw a card. Going to the Mentat space allows me to draw a card at the cost of 5 Solari. I draw 2 cards. I go up this tracker 3 points, which puts me at 10. That's great. So the next card I draw will be Bene Gesserit Initiate, in which I'll use probably Dispatch an Envoy, attach it to the Bene Gesserit Initiate. So I'm going to be able to buy a Spice Must Flow. And I'm really wishing that I could go to Siege Tabor and have that water. I don't have enough water. There's no way I could. How do I generate troops? I guess, I could just go to Siege Tabor, and if I go to Siege Tabor, I would get a troop and a water. The water would be useless to me at this point in the game. I mean, maybe there's another round after this, but it doesn't look like it. So I would just have an extra troop. And that would give me 6 points in the conflict. And I have ambush, which is 4 more points after that. So I would get total 10 points of strength in the combat, which isn't all bad. It's pretty good. And now I'm going to use this. Shuffle shuffle your discard pile into your deck, then draw a card. And the reason why I'm doing that now is because imagine I draw the Spice Worms. What if I did? What if I did? Okay, it's too good to be true, but look, everyone, I bought this fair and square. I bought this. Okay? So, yeah. If I drew this, that would be great, because if I buy a Spice Must Flow and it's looking like it's going to happen, I'll have 9 victory points. And if I win this combat, I'll have 2 victory points, which would put me at 11 victory points, which means I don't have to worry about any tie conditions. Imagine I draw this card. This is... Oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to do this because I feel like if I shuffle off camera and I drew this, it would seem too good to be true, right? It needs to be shown. I need to let everyone see that I'm doing this legitimately. I need to let everyone know this is the up and up, you know. And you know, if I don't draw it, yeah, it is what it is. But if I did,
it's too cool. Too cool.
Too cool. Okay, let me just like quickly sort of move my troops out of the way. I'm gonna shuffle this stuff real quick so everyone can see me do it.
Here it is. Okay, shuffle it all up.
One more time, just because I really want to make sure it's seeing that I'm doing this correctly and nobody's going to question that I, like, I don't know, did it wrong or something. I don't know. One more time. Here it is, the moment of truth. Watch me reveal the card. Oh, it's the Rackets Liaison. Okay, so I just got 2 more persuasion. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, great. Whoop-de-doo. Man, how cool would it have been? How cool would it have been? It's Agent Phase 3. Sorry, I'm still just having a moment. Oh no, Thorvald goes to secrets. He gets an intrigue card, but he only has 1, so it's not enough. But he does tie me on this tracker. It's not enough to steal my alliance coin, thankfully. That would be awful, by the way. But he does get a victory point. That's at least one less thing I have to worry about. He can't beat me on the tracker. He's all out of agents. Okay. Ariana goes to full space and takes a victory point. She gets 3 Solari for having the alliance token. She now has 10 victory points, which If this game doesn't end in my favor, then she wins. But I am going to win. It is going to end in my favor. Agent Phase 4, where am I going? I believe I said I was going to use the Bene Gesserit Initiate, and I was going to go to Siege Chamber. Generate a troop, generate some water, puts me from 5 to 6. There's nobody competing with me in battle. That cost me 1 persuasion. I have 11 persuasion. So now that nobody's competing with me in battle, is that even possible? No, it's not possible. Wait, it is possible. Because her first move, let's just make sure that this is correct. I want to make sure this is proper. Did she go to Carthag first? Or did the Earl Memnon Thorvald, did he go to Carthag first or Dreadnought first? Let's find out. Unfortunately for him, he's not involved in the conflict. I didn't miss a step. He went to Carthag first, was in conflict, had no troops. Then he went to Dreadnought, got a Dreadnought, not a combat space. Went to Secrets, not a combat space. He's not involved in conflict. She went to Still Suits, but did she have troops? Let's find out. I think Still Suits was her first play. Her first play was Conspire. She generated 2 troops there. I apologize. No. Her first play was Still Suits, and she did have a Dreadnought. Then she went to Conspire and generated 2 troops, but it's not a combat space. So those troops remain in the garrison. Yep. Let us not forget the fact that the Earl Memnon Thorvald was in combat because they generated a troop with Carthag, but I stole it. That's what happened. Okay, I'm just trying to remember everything that took place this round because I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. It's happening. I'm winning. Let's go to the reveal phase. I get 2 spice from my 2 spice plus flow cards.
Two, 4, 6, 8, plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11 total persuasion.
So if I have 8 persuasion in my hand, plus the 3 you start with at every round, I'm at 11 persuasion. I have 2 spice plus flow, so I'm going to get 2 spice right now. That's going to put me at 3 spice. I'm going to buy spice plus flow. That puts me at 9. Combat phase. is ambush. 2, 4, 6. I'm using it now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the Countess Ariana does what? Blinks out. I win. 1, 2 victory points. And I get to put my flag on Carthage. Ladies and gentlemen, I just won legendary Kwisatz Haderach mode on solo. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to my channel, please. And I promise you that in the coming days, there will be more games like this to be played. And I will have better sounding equipment, a better microphone. There's going to be a better camera. And this is going to become a high production project. I have lofty goals for this channel. It's just a slow rollout, and I apologize it's not perfect right now. But please join me on this journey. Please subscribe to my channel. Watch me play this game. Enjoy me playing this game. Let's discuss this game. Let's become a part of the future of this game. We can do it. And with you on my side, I can become a powerful contender in this game. I know I have what it takes. I really want to be the best at this game. It's probably not likely that Mr. Beast is going to fund another championship, but when I found out that there even was such a thing as a Dune Imperium championship, I want to be the champion of this game. I want to be the best. I can do it. I know I can. And it's more popular than ever right now, so the competition is more fierce than it's ever been, and yet I believe that I have what it takes. I know I can do it. And that's why I wanted to make this channel. I wanted other people to be there with me when I did that. I know it's possible. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. So please join me, subscribe to my channel, and let's have a lot of fun. That's game over. I win. I am the Kwisatz Haderach.